chosen by God to compete for righteous glory. 8 other champions will enter, but there can only be one MoY. And now, introducing your host, Jake, the gluten-free careless.
What's up, my homies, and welcome into the MoY Ploy.
Welcome to the MoY Ploy! And what an exciting week one it was. Shots were called, shots were fired. It was a tradition unlike any other. Ray was swept off the board by Todd Harris. Obliterated. And I think that's the main headline.
Oh, yeah. Let's not give too much away. All right. Before we get into the juice of the episode, let's go for the Week 1 recap. Let's take a look here at the scoreboard. All right, we had a couple of interesting matchups. We had unsolicited Dak picks up against the corrupt commish. That is Ed, and Eddie versus myself. And this was a battle of depth versus elite performers. So my wide receivers popped off, his running backs popped off, but you can see his third best player just didn't cut it.
No way.
It really drops off.
Good Lord.
It just really dropped off for his quarterbacks put up a grand total of like not quite 8 points. That's rough. Najee didn't really show up. T didn't show up. DK didn't really show up.
Double QB under 5 points is horrible, and that's what his strategy was strong in quarterbacks. And
he only took what 7 of them.
Yeah, and that's a high draft pick. That's a 5th round draft pick in Dak.
Yeah, he drafted 6 quarterbacks in this league.
Yeah. So I mean that's high draft capital underperforming, less than 5 points for the 5th and 7th round pick.
Yeah.
Whereas,
it's rough. So yeah, the big news with Eddie's roster is just Dak being out for 8 weeks, up to 8 weeks.
Yeah, T. Higgins also, I think, concussion.
Yeah, good news. He's got Matthew Stafford in the wings, so it shouldn't destroy his fantasy value. But
what about Wentz? What about Tannehill?
Exactly. Like, what's he going to do with all of these players that are just riding the pine? It's an interesting situation he's found himself in. All right. Let's move on to the next one. We've got the Trevor Trust versus Only Commish Can Stop Me, Brent Van Conyu.
And Brent. There's a good matchup between us, but I felt like the running backs let you down, Brent.
I feel like I should also point out his real name is Van Conyu. It's not actually named Van Conyu. There's some new people to the league they might not know yet.
There's a couple of members of this thing called the Rat Pack. These are people accused of or having been confirmed cheaters. Myself, Snake Harris, Brent Van Conyu, and Ray Rat Mertz.
All right, so we had a Rat Pack face-off today. And yeah, I agree. 3 running backs, all under 10 points. Sucks to suck. And don't forget this goose egg here by Devonta Smith.
He had really low produced. He had 6 guys under double digits. This
is what happens to Brent every year. He doesn't have good depth in his flex positions. I feel like I'm a broken record with Brent here. Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Rutrow, more like it. And then we got Melvin Gordon the third. That's not great either. And if you look at his bench, I don't really see like a beacon of hope down here. Do you?
No. This is tough, Brent.
Brent ends up in this situation every year. Just the bench depth is just not there. Anyways. On your end, the 2019 All-Stars of Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, looking a little sus.
Not so spicy. They did go against some good defenses this week. Browns have a
Sure.
good D, and so do the Pack.
Sure.
We'll have to hope that they can
I
get
think
unlocked.
I'm just going to take a quick victory lap on how shitty Trevor Lawrence looked against a very bad. I think the Washington Commanders gave up the most fantasy points to quarterbacks, or if not, it was
28th.
like top
28th
5.
is very high. 28th.
Yeah. And
They ranked-
they made Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence made their defense look good. So I'm just going to take a quick victory lap. Trevor Lawrence, bottom 20 of scoring. Mark it down. You will be better off with Jared Goff as your starter than Trevor Lawrence.
Justin Fields. Let's roll with the Fields this week.
Sure. Yeah, even Justin Fields, whatever. Anything's better than Trevor Lawrence and that dumpster fire going down there. You know, and I think I really like what your team did. Amon-Ra came through. I think Mike Williams has got brighter days ahead. Michael Pittman, huge. AJ Green, the fuck were you doing starting him? Jarvis Landry,
the ball
though.
to someone in Arizona, but the ball went to some guy named Greg Dortch.
Greg, I know, right? Jarvis Landry showing that he is talented.
Yeah.
Loved it.
He'll be on the. He's going to be in the lineup next week. Let's go, Jar.
I think Jalen Tolbert and KJ Osborne are both
Jalen
cut
Sat.
candidates for this roster here.
Maybe not KJ. KJ had a lot of. So I'm kind of getting. I want to get a feel for the Vikings offense. I feel like KJ's an underrated player. Let's just see if he can blossom this year. He ran a route on like 83% of drop. I'm reading they like on a secondary matrix level. He ran a route at a high percentage.
If we're going to talk about secondary matrix real quick, we can talk about secondary matrix. Just kidding. We're not going to sit through that whole thing. It's like a 30-second long drop.
Don't forget, if people are driving, it can cause problems.
Gunshots going off in their car. No, so like the thing I don't like. Yes, you're right. He ran a lot of routes, and you know what?
Get injured.
He didn't get targeted.
We'll see. I'm gonna wait and happen. He's a guy I like. I like him. He's gonna ride the pine for me.
All right. Next matchup, we've got all Barkley, no bite. That is Ray Rat Mertz.
Oh my gosh!
Versus Fandalorian. This is the way. Todd Harris.
Todd Harris showed him that it's about scoring points, and I think it's something Ray forgot. Even though Ray is one of the only 2 members of this league to be top 4 scorer every year, whenever he plays Todd, he doesn't bring the juice.
No, not like corn. It's got the juice.
No, it's got the juice.
All right. So we've got some big studs in this matchup. Going down the left side of the screen, Josh Allen nearly hangs 40. Jalen Hurts doesn't get a touchdown and puts up 25 points. That's bananas.
Isn't that insane?
Joe Mixon, 21. James Conner, 16.5. Stephon Diggs, 26. And that's kind of it for the studs there. Also, A.J. Dillon, 20 points on the bench. Robbie Anderson's another studly performance on the bench.
God.
He left a lot of points on the bench, though. Don't love to see that.
No.
Now, I think Ray is kind of feeling the squeeze of punting the tight end position in an 8-team league here.
Yeah, you can't. You got to get some scores at every position.
In a normal week, Mark Andrews is going to outscore Cole Kmet by about 10 points. However, Mark Andrews doesn't really have a good week, but because Cole Kmet had such a bad week with 0 catches for 0 yards and 0 points, he still outscores Cole Kmet by about 10 points.
Dude, I feel the pain in the draft. I can't believe I took Tony Pollard over A.J. Dillon. I was so stupid. It's going to go down as being one of the heartbreak picks of what was I thinking?
Yes, it will.
Nothing. I wasn't. And there we are. Here we are today.
I mean, that's just a quick aside. That's one of the reasons I don't like those. Oh shoot, I've been in the wrong screen this whole time. That's one of the reasons I don't like those premium priced handcuff running backs. Why would I give up an 8th round pick so I can have a guy that will just sit on my bench until someone gets injured? It makes no sense.
Makes no sense, but here I am.
But here he is.
All right.
Some other great steady performances. Cooper Kupp picking up exactly where he left off, especially in a week where the Rams didn't do anything. To see Cooper Kupp still hang 30 points, got to feel good for Todd Harris there.
Great
Mike Evans, Evans coming through. Terry McLaurin came through in a minor way. Usually it was like a boom or bust, but it's nice to see him just like put up some usable points. That's feel like that's a good sign. Some duds. You got Amari Cooper, Tyler Lockett. On the other side, you got. I mean, the amount of duds in Ray's lineup is nuts.
TOD
real
did
quick.
Well, 2 duds.
Sure,
He did well. Great week.
Let's talk about the Ray's duds real quick.
But the butter on TOD's bench, let me tell you.
Ray's duds. Kadarius Toney, Cole Kmet, Alexander Robinson, Darnell Mooney, and Travis Etienne. That's a lot of duds to have in your lineup. That's a lot of guys that didn't put up 10 points. Tough to win. Tough to win like that. All right, last matchup. All right, we've got the 2 new guys. No one really cares about this matchup.
Brett Fitzgerald and Zach Varner.
Yes.
What?
Zach. He's a team Wiener. Zach Wiener. All right, so we've got. Let's
just say this. I said that Brett was going to be a bottom dweller, unfortunately, last week on the MoY Ploy. Brett, I didn't think that was fair to you, but you are in 8th place. Brent, I also mentioned you. I feel bad. You're in 7th place.
Bro, don't feel bad. Take that victory lap. You called this shit.
I called it. I did say that Ray would be in the bottom 4. Ray, welcome to the bottom 4.
Something I want to point out real quick. My man's had a quarterback throw for almost 50 points.
Gosh. And
is the lowest scoring team in the league. Holy shit. He had a combined 13 points from all 3 running backs. His receivers, his 4 receivers, I don't know if they cracked. Yeah, they did not crack 35 points, all 4 receivers.
He hit on Mahomes.
Sure, great. Good for him. Yippee. And then
brutal
to add insult to injury, this team is just in shambles. Elijah Mitchell
injured,
out for 8 weeks. CeeDee Lamb lost Dak for 8 weeks. Zeke Elliott lost Dak for 8 weeks. Keenan A. Hamstring, injured. I believe.
Yeah, hamstring.
Cam Akers looks.
He got a couple touches or something.
3 touches for 0 yards. Well done. So Cam Akers picked up right where he left off in the postseason of getting about 2.0 yards per carry. And again, like, injured. Look at his bench. Injured, suspended, injured, suspended, injured, useless. This is fucking brutal.
Brett, it's week 1.
You can't win your league in the draft, but you can sure fucking lose it. Why did you draft this many injured and suspended players, man? What the hell were you thinking, Brett? This is bad.
It's week 1, Brett.
It's week 1, and there's alarm sirens already going off, man. Oh my God, we got to put this man.
15 to go.
Put this man on the panic bus. Week 1 panic bus confirmed. You know what? Rest in piss. That Todd C needs to read Brett Fitzgerald. Good God.
Brett is apt.
Rest in piss, Brett. Your team is fucked. All right.
All right, give me a chance to run some players by you. I want to play a quick game called Trust or Bust. Ooh. I want to get your opinion on these players. Do these managers need to panic? Do they need to remain steadfast and trust in their guys? Number 1, this is a Brent Van Conyu special. After the trade, it is Derrick Henry. Not a spicy performance. Injured last year.
You're asking trust or bust?
Yeah, are you gonna say trust or bust this year? There's no consequence.
I think you've got a twofold attack here. I think you've got to trust, and I think you've got to panic a little bit.
It's kind of you're definitely on the fence here.
I've been off the Tennessee Titans this year. I didn't want Ryan Tannehill. Last year I felt like he represented a value, and he was good while Henry was healthy. Then Henry gets injured, and he's done. And the difference is, The difference is, there's actually 2 receivers I like on that team. I like both rookies. The difference is, they lost the efficiency in the passing game. And that's what allowed them to, when Henry got stuffed 2 times, that's what allowed them to convert on those third downs. Now, that passing efficiency, that amazing alpha receiver in A.J. Brown, he's not there. He's not there. And when the offense is as predictable as the Tennessee Titans offense is about to be, and Derrick Henry doesn't get passing game usage really, I think his touchdowns are going to go way down. I think his efficiency is going to go down. He's older than he's ever been. He's more brittle than he's ever been. Coming off a fairly significant foot injury with a moderate chance of re-injury. He is King Henry. So you have to trust.
Your dad made an incredibly interesting trade with Leonard Fournette.
I actually liked my dad's side because I am out on King Henry.
I kind of like it. I don't know why. It's weird. All right, number 2, Allen Robinson. Is Ray Rat Mertz? What is he gonna do here? He ran a lot of routes. He was only targeted twice of all the receivers in the offseason who went to new teams. They were involved in their team's play, but Allen Robinson not targeted.
Here's the deal.
No
I went the trust route with Allen Robinson last year.
Uh-oh. Now you're not trusting.
I'm going back. I'm all in, baby. Trusting Allen Robinson. Here's why I'm trusting Allen Robinson. Who the fuck else are they going to throw that ball to?
Ben Skronik.
Yeah, Ben Scroat. Yeah. They got Ben Scroat, and they've got Darnell Anderson, and Tyler Higbeast. Higbeast is not such a beast anymore. And Ben Scroat describes him pretty perfectly. Just nobodies. And they've got Allen Robinson, who he's got good hands. He's still a good player. I think once he gets a bit more integrated in the offense, once he starts having some of those breakfast parties with Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp, if he's allowed to attend the breakfast, I would expect him to pick up here in next week's. I'm still starting Allen Robinson.
All right, number 3, Mike Williams, a disappearing act week 1.
Absolute hardcore windmill slam trust.
I'm trusting them. Plus,
Keenan Allen's gone. Mike Williams.
This is an interesting one.
Easy.
Here's an interesting. This is what should the manager do here? Maybe Dak Prescott, Eddie Disler is in trouble. He also lost Najee Harris.
What's the question here?
So is Eddie gonna trust and keep him, or you think does he have to sell him? Try and sell him and get anything back.
Talk about Dak?
Yeah, Dak.
Dak's unsellable. Who's gonna buy him? For what? You could offer him to me for George Pickens, and I'd probably say no.
You wouldn't just keep him on your IR spot? You'd rather keep Brian Robinson over Dak? I don't know. Quarterbacks are pretty valuable. I don't know. I just
quarterbacks are valuable, but there's still some sitting out there. I mean, it's only an 8-team league. Right. I mean, here's the deal. In spite of one team hoarding 6 quarterbacks on their roster, there's still good streamers out there. Jared Goff is one of them. Let's take a quick look at some of the others. It's Baker Mayfield, Mitch Trubisky, Marcus Mariota, Davis Mills. Even Geno Smith looked fine out there. Geno Smith was balling, dude. And you've still got other starters with Joe Flacco, who's getting starts, Jacoby Brissett getting starts. There's other people out there getting starts. And the injuries haven't even set in for the quarterbacks in earnest. So, no, I think Eddie is, he's not riding shotgun, but he's on it. He's on the panic bus, I think. The reason I don't think Eddie needs to scooch his seat a little further up is I think Eddie's got a little bit of leeway with his depth at quarterback. Now, what I think that comes at the cost of is
Eddie's my number. Eddie's got another player on here. He's my number one question mark on trust or bust.
Who's he going to put in the running backs position if one of his guys misses something like Miles Sanders? I don't really trust him. Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Harris, and
dude, as long as we're talking about Eddie, I got to bring this into the picture. DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is I think it's a 6th round pick. Eddie is hurting right now for some players. Eddie could easily be falling to the bottom with Brett.
With Chris Godwin set to miss about 4 weeks, most likely, nursing that hamstring.
I'm putting Eddie on the panic bus, and I feel really bad. These are 2 good people in this world, and they're already on the panic bus in week
Here's
1.
something here's a question I've got for Eddie. The question is, the fuck are you doing, man? You got Zach Wilson just sitting on your bench with an empty IR spot. Zach Wilson has the big O next to his name. Means out.
Eddie.
Out means you can put him in the IR. Bro, is this your first time doing this or something, Eddie? Come on, bro. Get it together.
It's not hurt, Eddie. That's vicious. All right.
Just saying, man.
Real
I'm
quick,
just saying.
Before we run down the next week's matchups, I just want to say this. My 5 favorite draft picks so far, a lot of good people have made some awesome picks. Michael Thomas by your dad.
Ugh,
love
great.
It. It's going to be incredible. Number 4, and I actually think...
Well, I will say this. If you looked at Michael Thomas's score at halftime, it was 0. It was 0.
0. And your dad never lost faith.
But Jameis did Jameis things. Jameis did Jameis things. Is Jameis Winston's your quarterback? Just don't even check the box score until like 30 seconds left of the game. It's painful. It's a painful ride.
I'm kind of excited about this because I'm Team Ginger, and that's Carson Wentz. Eddie Disler he's got Carson Wentz, who's a spicy. Look, he once was gonna win the MVP. He got injured, and he's never been himself. But what if he just scores fantasy points in a Blake Bordelais style?
Here's the thing, Carson Wentz. People have been shitting on him nonstop.
It's hard.
But if you go back to last year's stats and you look at his stats and you just look at the stats,
they're
he had
fine.
A great fucking season. He had like 5 interceptions. He had single-digit interceptions and almost 30. I think he had 27, something like that, touchdowns. Like
that's the 20s.
That's a great season. That's a fantastic. That's better than Derek Carr.
And they flipped him for whatever they could get, and went with Matt Ryan.
I mean, NFL football, yes, it makes sense. Fantasy football, though, I'm going to keep Carson Wentz.
All right.
And I'm going to be starting him because here's the deal. This Commanders offense, there's 2 offenses that I thought would surprise people.
I'm all in on the Commanders offense. My number 3 player on my top 5 favorite draft picks is a Commanders player, dude. It's Antonio Gibson, baby. AG. Brian Robinson's been shot in the thigh
by AG's best man. He's like, I got you, AG.
I got you, man. Your job is secure. He's putting up fantasy points.
AG's like, bro, just don't kill him. I got you. Just the legs.
Last year, someone took out AG's leg and his shin. He was always injured every week.
That's right.
And I just...
Also a rough ride. Another ride that I took.
The fish with the side of beaver, I think, is Brett.
What the fuck does that name mean? He texted me today. He's like, bro, do you get it? And I'm like, not yet. And then he just didn't explain it. I'm like, all right.
I love it, Brett. You sick freak. I love it, Brett. I'm sick like you. All right, number 2.
I had a feeling it was something about vaginas.
It is, for sure. Guaranteed. All right, number 2, Roby Anderson by Ray Rat Merce. Is this the return of Roby? He had a down year last year with Sam O'Darnold as his quarterback. And, all right. My number 1, here we go, last one. My number 1 favorite fantasy pick is a 4th rounder, I think, and it's Javonte Williams. 11 receptions, I think 15 targets or something BS like that. I mean, it was just stupid. The fact that guy went after some other people, and it's hard to find elite running backs that could, usage in passing game and PPR, and have talent on the ground. And Javonte, it feels like a top 5 season for him is coming.
I think it's, the thing is, here's the deal. Melvin Gordon is still very much part of that offense. But Russell Wilson being there upgrades everybody's efficiency in spite of the garbage that we saw last night. That was pretty much foiled by 2 goal line fumbles.
Yeah.
Well, and they should have had 14 more points. They should have crushed the Seattle Seahawks, but they fumbled on the goal line twice. I mean, it's tough to come back
And
when you
my
do
guy,
that.
Jerry Julie, found the end zone in an incredible display of athleticism.
He did the thing.
He did the thing.
Julie. All right.
This week's games.
I want to call out, before we do the previews.
Oh, we're calling people out.
No. We're not calling. I've done enough of that already, let's be honest. I actually want to call out 2 offenses. I'm going to take a victory lap. This is victory lap time. I'm going to take a victory lap on 2 offenses that I told people were going to surprise in fantasy. The Atlanta Falcons, number 1. They had Cordell Patterson I'm trying to put my fingers up this stupid ass thing. Cordell Patterson, Drake London's only going to get better as the season goes on, and then Kyle Pitts is going to bounce back. They've got 3 usable options there in Atlanta, and I think you're going to see Cordell Patterson as the season goes on. He'll probably wear down kind of like he did last year, but I think Tyler Algier might step up. They scored points.
Points.
This is, you look at Marcus Mariota when he was at Tennessee. He had no pass-catching options. It was like Delaney Walker and guys who had like a career best of like 400 yards receiving. And that's what they gave him to work with. And they're like, all right, go be our franchise quarterback. And the fuck are you thinking? That's not how that works. Now, the other one that I want to talk about, the other offense that I think is going to surprise people and produce fantasy points, there's 3. The Eagles.
Oh my gosh.
The Eagles are going to fly this year. And the final surprising... Oh, man, it left my head. The final surprising offense this year...
Say it.
Oh, man. I had it, and I totally forgot exactly what I was going to say.
I love the Vikings.
No. We all knew the Vikings was going to be good.
The Vikings.
It's a shit team with a decent offense. Oh, Commanders. Duh. Washington Commanders.
Incredible.
They're going to have a good offense because Carson Wentz is a... Here's the thing. When you normally when a mediocre quarterback comes to town, you don't want to try and get too hyped vis-a-vis Baker Mayfield. Carson Wentz is like a mediocre NFL quarterback. If you want to, if you just want to, he doesn't probably make the top 15. However, he was coming in from XFL starter. He was coming in replacing an XFL player in Taylor Heineke. So the step up from Taylor Heineke to Carson Wentz is massive, on top of the fact that Curtis Samuel is back, and they've got a first-round rookie, Jahan Dotson, and Brian Robinson when he eventually gets healthy. The team is got some juice on offense.
Yep.
Big fan of that. All right. Enough pontificating. Let's look at these week 2 matchups.
Oh, spicy.
Shit, I got to take you on second week of the season?
Already?
The 2019 All-Stars? Damn. Please keep Trevor Lawrence in your lineup for me, though. I'd be very grateful.
A rematch of the last year's championship game. Trevor Trust versus Corrupt Commish.
Man, I was hoping that we could go undefeated for a little bit longer, but I'm going to have to crush you.
It has to be a week 2 battle of the undefeateds.
Damn.
All right. Things I like your quarterbacks more than mine. I like my running backs more than yours. I like your receivers more than mine.
Oh, come on. I don't want to see an ad.
I hate that. That makes the dumbest thing they ever did was have that shit pop up. It makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense because,
if I wanted it, I'd click on.
Name another fantasy site that you have to deal with fucking pop-up ads. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, I like. I definitely prefer your running backs. I think that DeAndre Swift showed that he's got elite upside, even while getting vultured on the goal line.
Yeah.
The vulturing does concern me.
He did get a rushing touchdown.
He did, but the vulturing does concern me.
Yeah.
I think if I were to look at it, I think I like my receivers, but not that much more than yours, actually. A.J. Brown is a top 5 receiver, in my opinion.
Yeah, like, it's A.J.
Michael
Brown
Pittman's
is far
top
behind
10.
those guys.
Yeah.
Michael Pittman might be top 8 right now. He's spicy usage. And Mike Williams, if he would ever appear and connect with, like, Mike Williams, come on. If he gets targeted 10, 12 times this week, he's going to put up huge points versus Kansas City.
Here's something interesting. A theory I have is the year after a player gets paid, that following year after the contract is signed, they don't perform well.
Damn, then I'm screwed. I got to get rid of Mike Williams.
Christian McCaffrey got paid, starts getting hurt while he's got all that guaranteed money,
Yeah.
Like,
it's nice. Get that money.
And suddenly when the money's not guaranteed, something like James Conner, a dude who's always hurt, suddenly doesn't have guaranteed money on the line, and now he's healthy every game. Imagine that, So, I don't know. It's just I haven't put any numbers to it, but there's a lot of anecdotal evidence out there of guys getting paid and then starting to get hurt. All right.
Tight ends.
Tight ends, it's kind of a push for me. I do like Kyle Pitts, but I don't like him into Los Angeles.
I may start some if Kittle is playing and you start Trey Lance. I might play Feed the Beast and see if Kittle gets some targets from Lance. We'll see.
I didn't realize you had Kittle. Dang. All right.
Kittle's injured though. Kittle got injured on like Monday last week.
I know. It's such bullshit.
That's the Kittle. I knew when I drafted him he would be injured.
Yeah, I like it. All right, let's go to the next one. We're coming up on 40 minutes here, so let's start cruising.
Hurry. All Bark League, no bite versus.
Yes, a matchup of the defeateds. One of these teams has to win.
To lose.
Who's it going to be for you?
I'm going to pick Ray Rat to pick the dub up. I'm sorry.
Ray's World, tragic Ray starts to tank.
One of the best drops of all time.
No time. I give it to Ray. I just like Ray's talent at quarterback, running back.
Yes.
Like, Brent's running backs are going to hurt him all year. He's really only got one in Derrick Henry.
Don't like Montgomery. I don't like Singletary. Yeah, I don't like Melvin Gordon. Don't like his bench. I'd put Rashad Penny in there probably over Singletary.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know. They're going into San Fran. But then again, I didn't expect them to do anything against Denver either. So it's just tough. It's just tough, man.
Brent, who's got the roster with the most trouble? Brent, Brett, or Eddie?
Brett currently, in my opinion. I mean, I like these quarterbacks. I like these quarterbacks. I trust them. I like Tyreek. I like Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
I like Travis Kelce here.
Point producers here, and it's a diversified portfolio.
Sure.
It makes sense. I mean, it means something. He's got a double stack in Denver and triple stack technically with Gordon, but like it's time to get rid of Gordon.
I mean, because I think their benches are equally like stank.
Sus.
Yeah, sus. They're super sus. All right, let's keep moving.
Here we go. Matchup number 3.
By the way, Peter, can I just say, I love coming here every week and just shitting on our friends. I just love it. All right, let's keep moving.
All right, here we go. We have 1-0 Todd Harris, the Fandalorian, versus Fish plus Lamb minus the side of Beaver.
What's Lamb got to do with it? That's what I can't figure out.
I don't know, but this is... Do you get it yet?
Is it like CD Lamb? Is it like CD Lamb is... on his
fish on his
period.
Team, right? There's a fish on somebody's on a fish on his team. Who's named after a fish? I don't know.
We need to figure this out.
Plus
fish.
Alright, but Brett, this is Brett's legacy.
Are there even any football teams named after fish?
I don't know.
It's like a Seahawk because they eat fish. Dolphins.
But those aren't fish.
Not fish.
They're not fish. They call them the fins. But anyway, Brett is in trouble here because your dad's team is balling out, and he's got a ton of people on his bench he can roll with. The problem for Todd is maybe who's gonna, does he pick the right players every week? He's got performers, but that's a luxury. This is a team that I said I was worried about. It's very concentrated with multiple players on the same team. Dak Prescott goes down, downgrade CeeDee Lamb and Zeke Elliott. If Trey Lance doesn't perform, I'm worried because he's got Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Mitchell just got
and
injured.
Deebo Samuel.
And he's got Deebo Samuel and Ayuk.
Yep.
God.
Yep.
Again,
Look at this bench. God.
Brett, we love you.
Oh my God. Injured, useless, suspended, injured, suspended, injured,
Brett, would you like to
useless.
make a trade?
Oh my God. All right. I will say I hardcore agree with you. Get Amari Cooper out your damn lineup. Get Michael Thomas in there. Maybe even consider, I mean, I don't know. Do you want to sit Tyler Lockett for the game that he decides to go off for 30? I don't know. I'm not a huge... I was off of Tyler Lockett this year because I felt like Lockett had a lot of... He's talented, but I felt like the connection he had with Russell, I was buying into that narrative. I'm not a person who really likes to buy into narratives and have that affect my fantasy values, but that one in particular did affect me. But get Patterson, get Michael Thomas in there. I feel like that's the obvious smart choice. Get Hunter Henry off your team. Get Justin Watson off your team. Get Raheem Mostert off your team. And your roster's looking really strong if you can drop the right players.
Yeah.
That said, I feel like he usually drops the wrong players. It's kind of a pattern for him.
If he drops Michael Thomas, I can only hope that I'm next on waivers.
Amen. Amen. That's the thing about being in a league with my dad is I don't really. He's got.
I don't know if
he's got waiver priority. He's like number 2 on waivers, so he always drops a player every year. That I'm like, wait, you dropped
what?
That guy every year. Watson. It happens every year.
It ain't Watson this time.
But it wouldn't shock me if he drops Amari Cooper after week 1. Would it shock you? Would it shock you?
I would love Amari Cooper on my team.
That's what I'm saying. He does that shit every year. All right. That's all the matchups, I believe. Or is there one more? One more.
We got unsolicited.
And 2 new guys. I just don't care about the
Eddie
new guys.
Disler and Z Warner.
All right, so we've got Zachary Weiner. We've got Zach Weiner and Eddie Disler.
Eddie Disler.
All right, who's your pick for this?
This is going to Z Warren because Eddie's team is in trouble. Najee's and Dak's out. Najee's hurt. There was someone else up there who was hurt as well on his team. I'm worried. Oh, T. Higgins. T. Higgins is concussed. Chris Godwin, hamstring injury.
I think that's fair, and I think Zach's starting lineup is baller, and I think his bench is loaded with upside. Except for Kenny Galladay. What the fuck is this guy doing?
I was hoping Breece Hall would get more usage. I was worried for...
Let's take a look at Kenny Galladay here.
Kenny G, 2 catches.
2 catches, 22 yards. I mean, have you not seen enough? Why do you want to keep getting hurt by this man?
All in by Kenny G.
Yeah, I think Galladay and Pierce can both, hit the road.
When everything is said and done, I can guarantee. I'm thinking that Eddie, Brett, Brent are all 0-2.
Damn. 3 0-2 teams.
3 0-2 teams.
You know what would be... For the last couple of seasons, we've had playoff. The playoff hunt has gone right up to the last week of the season. It'd be kind of fun to see it get shaken up and just obliterated. Like by week 3, there's just 0-3 teams where their whole end of the bench is injured and suspended. I know Brett listens. It's half the fun of shitting on him so much.
Brett, you deserve so much more love from your commish.
No, you don't. You did this to yourself.
One of his henchmen here in the league. Watch out.
All right, boys. That's all we got for you. Enjoy. I hope you guys have fun this season. Just not that much fun because that would mean you're probably winning games. We'll see you in the next one. Bye. Peace.